Beaumont, Texas has been dealt an especially tough hand in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. The city's pump stations are flooded, so there's a major shortage of drinkable water. I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Anna Werner, who joins me now by phone from Beaumont. Anna, first of all, tell us what it's like in Beaumont now.
Well, what you've got in Beaumont is there's still no drinking water for residents. So you have people out in this 90-plus degree heat, either standing or sitting in their cars in lines, waiting to get either free cases of water, free supplies, or they're going to stores, which of course are stocked by these hundreds of people trying to get supplies. So they're waiting in lines at the Walmarts, at the H-E-Bs, and a lot of these stores are only able to let in a few people at a time. So people are waiting outside the stores in lines to get in. We even saw that at a pharmacy yesterday. The good news, on the other hand, is that that the city officials announced last night that they have come up with kind of a Hail Mary solution. They went for it, and they say that they've succeeded with the help of a local company that does a lot of work with pumping and other solutions, and ExxonMobil. They all kind of came together to put up temporary pumps at the water treatment plant. Essentially what you have is, the city usually pumps its water from two main locations. Those were flooded, so the pumps don't work. Well, they basically said, let's figure out a way to set up temporary pumps right next to the treatment plant, draw the water out of the river, and at least give people a supply of water that they can use. Now, they still have to boil it. They can't drink it without boiling it for at least 2 minutes. And you can't cook with it, wash your hands unless you boil it for at least 2 minutes. But at least there is a water supply for flushing toilets. They hope to get the water pressure up to the point where people might actually be able to take showers. No one here has been able to have a shower or a bath for a week. You can imagine tempers are running a little short in some of the population here, and we've seen that too.
Yeah. I wonder, Anna, given what you just laid out with this temporary solution in place, is there any kind of time frame about when the city expects to have clean, drinkable water again?
Well, they have to get, under the Texas environmental regulations, as you would have in any other state, you have to meet certain quality tests after you start running the water through your plant. And there are some hiccups, they're going to have some fits and starts with this water. So I think it's a real question as to whether the water becomes drinkable straight out of the tap, when that will happen exactly. They have to meet those requirements, quality requirements as set by the city, because you have to protect people, obviously, against health threats. And of course, they're using river water, and right now you've got flood water mixing with river water. So the threats, I would think, would be even higher, because you could have, some sewage mixed in there, obviously. Right. That's not very healthy. It could be quite a dangerous thing for the elderly. So the reminder to people is, do not drink that water that's coming straight out of your tap. It is not safe. It has to be boiled. Well, we understand, Anna, a hospital there in Beaumont was forced to evacuate as well. What is the status on those patients? Well, the patients have been moved. We have not been given conditions on the patients, but we've not heard that anybody's doing poorly. They had to evacuate the hospital because they didn't have water. They also had to evacuate some 2,000 people using, military planes out of the airport here. It's a major evacuation operation. They moved them out this week and flew them all to shelters in Dallas. So the other question is, when can those people come back, and how will they make their way back? Will they get transports back? It's there's some pretty complicated things going on there. And if you can imagine, if you're an evacuee, a flood victim, you were flooded out of your home, then you spent hours in shelters here, then they told you you had to move, then you waited at the airport. Some of them got on buses that were supposed to go to San Antonio. They had to be turned around, brought back to the airport, flown out. Some of these people have been up for days. Wow, and I know you've been doing some tremendous reporting under some really difficult conditions as well. Well, Anna, East Texas is an area, as we know, that is prone to hurricanes. Is there a sense at all in Beaumont that anything could have been done to prevent the very situation that residents there are now facing? I was asking the mayor here that very question last night, and I said to her, she's the emergency management director, and she was here in 2008 for Ike and for other situations before that. And so I said to her, I understand that, their pumps, what the city will tell you is these pumping stations have never flooded before. Literally never, not in 100, and they've been running for 100 years. So the answer from the city officials is, look, we could never have expected that this would happen. Now, in the wake of this happening, obviously we want to look at having, other backup systems to pump water because we don't want this to happen again. But literally, they told me that the pumps have been up for 100 years and no floodwaters have ever gotten anywhere close, including Ike, including other hurricanes. They've been, I think, functioning in what could be described as crisis conditions.
All right, Anna Werner reporting from Beaumont, Texas for us. Anna, thanks so much.